Good evening. How we doing, everybody? Yes, evil. God, the music is so good. Alright, so, yeah, that's right, we were here in the court. We could talk to some people while we're here. Yeah, let's talk to some of the other people while we're here. Oh, hang on. Barrick wants to chat. Yeah, I'm gonna go with, it shouldn't surprise you that Archon Tunon would not unmake what was wrought by the Overlord's wrath. Surprise no, disappoint yes. The Archon's decision changes nothing. I've persevered to this point, I shall continue to do so, for the sake of General Ash in the North. Well, you know what, Barrick? There may be another way. Your master was very specific in his sentence. He forbade not only assistance from the Forgebound, but from anyone, anywhere in the world. No, the Archon forbade any subject of Kairos to aid you. You split hairs, Binder. The whole of the world bends the knee to the Overlord. If that were the case, we wouldn't be in the tears, would we? You're not suggesting we ask some renegade mage for aid. You would discard the spirit of the law in favor of its letter? Trust me, Barrick. I'm a lawyer. It's the letter of the law that matters. Not to me. The honor of a deed lies as much in its spirit as its action. Perhaps some other way to free you will present itself. Your optimism does you credit, though I fear it misapplied. Well, lore check. The Forge Bound will be curious regardless. The articulation on your armor is incredible. At the very least, we should let them take a look at you. My armor is unique. Perhaps I can teach them something that will aid the disfavored. We can find the Forge Bound at their smithy in Lethian's Crossing. Everyone knows the best lawyers know when to... Exactly. The best lawyers know when to follow the rules and when to bend them. Damn right. So we've got equal fear and loyalty with Barrick right now. He's not sure what to think. We could talk a bit with Tunon over here. You can get some favor if you talk law with Tunon. Hey, boss. I wish to speak about matters of law. And you are well situated, for my court is the legal heart of this corrupt and uncivilized realm. What matters draw your curiosity? You are well versed in Cairo's laws, but I'm happy to discuss the particulars. The best lawyers offer no legal advice other than hire a lawyer. Yes. The law is a series of loops with holes. Let's just go through these. Let's talk about Cairo's peace. Cairo's peace guarantees all willing supplicants under the Overlord a place in her world. The exact wording of the bylaw is, your life is not yours to discard, the Overlord has plans for you. This extends to several spheres of influence. Among others, it grants protection to enemies who surrender in time of war, and it forbids suicide. To dispense with the Overlord's vassal and property is prohibited. Did you guys notice something there? Did you notice that? Don't know if you guys caught that. He did something. Remind me how the Overlord's name may be used. It is not forbidden to cross one's tongue with Kairos' name, but it behooves one to use caution and respect. The Overlord's name is not yours to give, whether to progeny, product, location, or abstraction. Slander of the Overlord is punishable by death. There is only one Kairos, and her name is safeguarded. No one may say Kairos and have it obfuscated by a second meaning. Neither will her name be associated to trivialities. A gambler will not attribute his fortune to Kairos' luck, or his misfortune to Kairos' scorn. Such an association lowers the Overlord in the public estimate, and is rightly considered slander most foul. Did you guys catch that? As soon as somebody catches it, I'll ask him about it. Let's talk about the old walls. Old walls are cool. Is Kairos a god? Kairos is a name of legend. For centuries, the Overlord has consolidated power, sending vast armies to swallow entire realms. The most powerful mystic the world has ever seen, Kairos can issue edicts, magical proclamations that level cities, spread pox, sunder the lands, or change the course of seasons. The Archons, masters of magic throughout the known world, bow to Kairos, and the Overlord readily destroys any Archons unwilling to kneel. These sorceresses and madmen lead the Overlord's armies in near-endless conquest. As the realms of the known world fall to the Overlord, these captured territories are divvied up amongst the Archons to manage. Able to deliver suffering and woe to every corner of Tyranny without leaving the capital, few have seen the Overlord in person. Though Kairos' name is the single most recognized name in the world, only the Archons can say what the Overlord looks like. So, is Kairos a god? Maybe? No one knows. Kairos is the Overlord. That's what matters. Okay, the old walls are forbidden, as are their contents and their Kairos is Tom Bombadil. Oh god. No, Kairos is evil Tom Bombadil. Or is he? Yeah, owning any items from the old walls is considered trespass, regardless of how it came to your possession. Mind that in the course of your travels. Don't suppose they know the Overlord's gender. That's an interesting question. We'll get to that. He isn't evil Tom Bombadil, just Sauron. Actually, yeah, you're right. You're right, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. As the old walls extend across much of the tiers of the Northern Empire, Kairos permits her servants to pass only where she has sculpted the landscape to permit traverse. Under no circumstances are you to enter a breach in the old walls, even for a task as innocent as crossing to the other side. If these restrictions seem too severe, I would remind you they are for the protection of Kairos' subjects. The Overlord has no desire to see harm needlessly inflicted upon her loyal followers. No, Tom Bombadil, not Tom Tombadil. Okay, so somebody raised this question in chat. Let's ask about Kairos. Oh, we have favor, so he'll tell us. Kairos is our Overlord. She ushers us from the brink of chaos with a stern hand and gestures to the way of peace. We are only too eager to follow in her perfect example. How old is Kairos? By our reckoning, her age upon Tyranny is magnificent. Her true span defies measurement by our limited construct of time. It would be a waste to spend our few pitiable years attempting to solve that riddle of existence. Think of Kairos not as subject to beginnings or endings. Kairos is, and Kairos will ever be. What is your relationship to Kairos? She is my master, and I her dutiful pupil. In this respect, you and I are no different. I have the honor of Kairos' confidence. She trusts me to enact her law upon the boundless territory of her rule. I am only too grateful to serve. I am the voice of Kairos' will, the harbinger of her judgment, and the arm of her justice. Should we take a little risk? Let's take a little risk. I couldn't help but notice you refer to Kairos as a woman. Beware of that trajectory of thought. Save for her perfection, there is little about Kairos to which we could ascribe recognizable attributes. A power as distant and unknowable as the Overlord should transcend our petty dualities. Male, female, it makes no difference. Kairos is mother to us all. He didn't answer the question. Remind me of Magician's Folly. Practitioners of the arcane arts must be sanctioned by one of Kairos' guilds, such as the Blood Chanters or Forgebound. Rogue magicians with a tenuous grasp of unknown powers will not be tolerated. Ebb lowers her gaze to the ground. She's a tidecaster. Your orphaned mage there is covered by the aegis of the Blood Chanters Guild. When you consign the elders of the school to their fate, all of her tradition are now, in the eyes of the law, Blood Chanters. Oh, diplomatic immunity, and all it cost me was my dignity. So I'm a blood chanter in the eyes of the law. Just salt in the wounds, why don't you? A sanctioned mage whose spellcasting causes damage to life or property is lawfully deemed innocent. As long as they practice their art in the service of Kairos, all is forgiven. Speak of quotas. The harvest blooms and blights by the will of Kairos. In times of lean, you will be fed. In times of wealth, you will feed others. This law is a sizable category unto itself, serving many needs at once, trade and tax being only two examples. The broadest intent of the law is to empower Kairos' subjects to care for their neighbor and expect care in return. See, Kairos doesn't sound so bad. You might take note of the law's application to trade. A merchant's right to peddle their wares is defined by permits granted annually. The regional authority has the right to decide if a merchant sells cabbage one year and sandals the next. Anyone breaking through their restrictions is subject to immediate forfeiture of all assets. You need not concern yourself over the nuances, at least until they apply to this contested realm in a time of peace. Tell me what the restrictions on forbidden knowledge. My cabbages! Yeah, poor Fez and his cabbages. Kairos herself sets the standard of what can and cannot be known. These restrictions are rarely enforced, but they are worth taking into account. During the war, for example, Kairos deemed the knowledge of the Vellum Citadel taboo. No one may possess the wisdom of that fallen repository save Kairos herself. Calling it all taboo seems a bit like overkill, but to play Kairos' advocate, the world would hardly be safer if all had access to the lore of making poisons, or the art of arming brigands in fine bronze. This is for the protection of her subjects. Before the coming of Kairos, during the ages of anarchy and discord, powerful knowledge in undeserving hands leveled empires without thought or mercy. Kairos has no desire to revisit those dark times. Throat's a little dry today. Am I beholden to these laws? That should not be in question. We are all subjects of Kairos. Her laws define and regulate our very way of life. With that said, as an agent of law, you are granted more leeway than a soldier or citizen. You may find yourself compelled to commit morally questionable acts in the name of Kairos. If it serves the court's justice, much may be forgiven. So the rules don't apply as long as you're enforcing them on someone else. I want your job. Magic Comstar. That... Now there's a thought. Kairos is Magic Comstar. Really makes you think. If the court finds any of your actions suspect, we will summon you to answer for yourself. Your testimony will be heard, and judgment rendered. You are exceedingly curious about the application of Kairos' law. I find it refreshing you would seek my counsel, Fatebinder. Yes, favor with Tunon. It's very important to max out favor with Tunon as quickly as you can. Tell me about Blood and Mark. He is my headsman and an assassin without equal. His official designation in Kairos' hierarchy is the Archon of Shadows, though I wonder that he ever considers himself aught but a slayer of the unjust. How do you earn his title? His work away from the court takes Blood and Mark to the dark places of the world, the Tiers and Northern Empire alike. Over time, Shadows became his dominion. They cloak him, protect him, and even fight for him if the need arises. It is said that Blood and Mark can travel to any place where shadows are cast. Only he would know this for certain. Does Blood and Mark serve you alone? Your question is flawed. We are all servants of Kairos. The Archons are also agents of their own interest, those chosen few empowered to bring order to the world in accordance with Kairos' peace. At present, Blood and Mark is my vassal and I his patron. The relationship is not so different from Graven Ash and Cairn, the fallen Archon, or the voices of Narat and his songbird Siren. Such partnerings and apprenticeships are common. They provide mutual benefit to the Archons involved, as well as a measure of oversight. No, he did sort of answer. Like, the question was, does Blood and Mark serve you alone? And he said, no, he also serves Kairos. But he answered the question beneath that question, which was asking about what's the hierarchical relationship between Tunon and Blood and Mark, and he answered that question. Blood and Mark is Tunon's vassal. I am curious about you, Archon. Curiosity is not a trait I encourage in my servants. Too often have I witnessed such activity leading down a path to lawlessness. However, if you feel that a better understanding of me will inform your work, then I will allow it. Tell me of your rise to become adjudicator. Curb your ambition, student. My path to this dais is not one that can be replicated under any circumstances. However, if your curiosity is determined, I will tell my story. Forgive me, I only wish to know my master better. If your story can teach me nothing of power, I'm not interested. No, he won't like that. I wish to understand the law and your execution of it, or my sage friend here would add to his chronicle that others might learn from it. I think either of these two we should go for. 3? Okay. 3. Anybody else? Yeah, let's go with 3. I wish to understand the law and your execution of it. An admirable pursuit. You know much of Kairos' law and the maintenance of order already. My history may tell you something of how it can be used to win wars. I came into this world centuries ago, before the dream of a unified Northern Empire was fully realized. My home country lay far from the borders of Kairos' realm, and our conquest was a matter of distant speculation. Decades before rumor of Kairos' approach grew in panicked volume, I familiarized myself with the intricacies of her law. It took me no time at all to realize the benefits of our inevitable subjugation. I took it upon myself to rise in my country's governance as an arbiter of law and drafter of covenants, building some notoriety for my execution of fair justice. As my influence and the trust of my people evolved, my decisions transcended to define future precedent. What my countrymen could not have surmised was that I had woven into our customs the very backbone of Kairos' law. I set the stage for the conquest of our floundering nation to join the Overlord's empire. Yeah, he is the Archon of lawyers, dude. By the time the Overlord's armies presented themselves and offered terms of surrender, we had adopted Kairos' peace in all but name. Our absorption to the Northern Empire was a matter of legal formality, negligible changes to our already beloved document of law. The people credited me as the architect of peace, and for a time called me Tunon the Fair. As my importance grew in their estimate, Kairos could not help but learn of the part I played in her bloodless victory. Kairos' law has a breadth of intricacies that is unapproachable to the masses. I was chosen to interpret and represent the Overlord's will across the Northern Empire and beyond, this time as adjudicator. It is my pride, my duty, my life. What does it mean to be an Archon? I am a figure of power and significance, and under Kairos' mandate I am able to exercise my authority for the benefit of all. Had I not earned the Overlord's approval, I would not stand tall before you. Is every Archon subservient to Kairos? All are subservient before Kairos, but I intuit your meaning. The Overlord takes great pains to recognize potential. Before an Archon comes to their power, they will have faced the harshest scrutiny, by an agent of recruitment, if not Bledenmark himself. Those who are found worthy of incredible deeds but refuse to join their strength to the needs of the Empire are doomed to die. Those who wish to make a name for themselves are invited into the fold, to serve and rule the needs of the Empire. That is the price of power in Kairos' hierarchy. Did you come into power yourself, or did Kairos foster your talents? An astute question. Doubtless I exhibited some spark of potential on my own, insignificant, though enough to accomplish deeds of note. Only under Kairos' tutelage have I grown to these heights. Could anyone become an Archon? Absolutely not. Only a precious few grow into this authority. Were it otherwise, Tyranny would descend into pandemonium. Of those few who rise into power, fewer still have the self-control to make lawful use of their talents, and of those who can, fewer still are deemed worthy of Kairos' approval. This is called foreshadowing. Did you come up with the office of Fatebinders? Indirectly, yes. Just as I am the representative of Kairos' law across Tyranny, you are the face of my judgment for the people. I took inspiration from the Overlord's example, as we all should. The people needed an approachable face to settle their grievances, and I am not available to adjudicate on every sharecropper's dispute. The Fatebinders were an inevitable solution. We're not going to ask about the mask, because that would make him mad. We've already taken one risk today. We don't need to take another. Why is curiosity such a problem? Because my vassals are not selected for their independence of thought. You are an agent of the law, the execution of which falls within strict confines. Your intelligence may aid the tasks ahead of you, but your unwavering obedience is of greater value to me. Don't you want me to interpret Kairos's... No, I'm not going to ask him why he wears the mask. That's why I would gain wrath, is because it's a Bane post. Naturally, but take care not to let your intellect veer from the straightforward path. I have seen it happen, and lost more than one pupil who thought themselves above their station, convinced that they knew better. What happened to those pupils? Anyone who oversteps their bounds is given the opportunity to amend their ways. Those who fail to heed my warnings show contempt for Kairos' peace, and are treated accordingly. The purpose of law is to set the standard for others. Though I am generous with the freedom I offer the Fatebinders, you are still inextricably tied to Kairos' law. Straining that tether to a breaking point will reflect poorly upon you. Alright, that'll do. No more questions, Your Honor. Then be on your way. Oh, fear ability unlocked. We got Blade Graves, Grasp. Can't read that. Oh, cool. Oh, Iron Storm. Alright, so we can talk to these Fatebinders. They know some stuff. Fatebinder Nunavol. I'll not pretend to understand the strategic decisions you have made, but they are yours all the same. Oh yeah, the whole fuck my allies thing. He's curious about our travels in the tiers. Word has reached me your negotiation tactics at Apex. I'm impressed you made any headway with the Southern Wretches. Let's ask him about Tudon's masks. They can be rather unsettling, can't they? Even to one such as me, but I assure you, the innocent need not fear their objective, emotionless gaze. What of the Adjudicator's masks would you like to know? Silent Face. The Silent Face is the face Tudon shows us now, and for that we are fortunate beyond belief. The Silent Face is a patient face, a face for listening as Tudon presides over all matters brought before the court, taking great pains to ensure all sides of an issue are heard. Tell me about the Face of Resolve. Tudon's last known donning of the Face of Resolve was the moment he judged and called ruin to half the district in the Bastard City. Since then, he has ruled our northern tier justly, calmly, and with efficient diplomacy. Tell me about the face that is no more. Tudon is said to have worn a third mask in eons past. I have heard rumor that the face displeased Kairos and thus was destroyed, as happens to all persons and objects that displease our overlord. Have you ever seen him change his mask? In the way that you would hire a change of raiment? No, not as such. And yet I have seen the masks shift. They switch without the Adjudicator or anyone so much as laying a hand on them. It's not something you can watch unfold. After a time, you merely realize it has already happened. There is work enough for the court. We shouldn't occupy ourselves wondering over mysteries. I claim to spire at Vendrian's Well. So the court whispers are true. Ain't nothing else to say about that. Tell me about our allies. Now, with friends like these, our work is often self-explanatory. The Scarlet Chorus soldiers hail from every corner of the realm. As the chorus marches, it conscripts indiscriminately from those it has conquered to replenish its ranks. There is no continuity of command in the chorus. Narat allows, encourages even, the strong to challenge their leaders. But the chorus has numbers, and brute force is always a viable solution, much as Regalis insists otherwise. Besides, the Scarlet Chorus draws strength in the multitude it swallows. The Bloodchanters have taken knowledge from various tiers of mystics, and many of the chorus' best soldiers were grown here in the south. The disfavored are the iron tip of Kairos' great phalanx. Armed with the best weapons, the most comprehensive training, and led by the brilliant Graven Ash, the disfavored have no equals in open battle. The Legion has a saying, Graven Ash protects, and it's no empty boast. The Archon of War is able to lend his will and strength to his soldiers and give them endurance beyond human limits. I have great respect for the disfavored, but I know where I stand with them. They are a very close-knit band, all of them from northern families, many related to each other. But considering our role in the great hierarchy, I can't fault General Ash for being selective. Tell me of your victories. Oh, have you not tired of my tales, Wakefield? I admit I never tire of telling them. Let the glory of Kairos' reign fall on any ears that would hear of it. While they may not rival one's great glorious feats in battle, I take pride in the small dispenses of justice I managed between my weekly drills and lectures. Just the other day, I pulled the teeth of a liar and strung them about his neck so he might consider his words with more care in the future. Yikes. Okay, see ya. Bye. Effective, yeah. Fatebinder Callio. Greetings, Fatebinder. Your exploits at Vendrian's Well were the topic of much discussion. One begins to question the intent behind your methods, Wakefield. I hope you are not wandering a path from which you cannot return. You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? Don't act so surprised. It's my duty to ensure those who operate under the Adjudicator's name adhere to the spirit of his law, if not the very letter. And those who don't will be dealt with swiftly and efficiently at the point of Bledenmark's blade. Of course, that is assuming I don't dispatch them first. I take my duty very seriously, and I'm very, very good at it. Something happened while I was away. Nunavol was dispatched to Stalwart to break the stalemate between the locals and the disfavored. He proclaimed Kairos' Edict of Storms, shattering the country with winds unending. Nice. Let's talk about Tunon. Tunon is our overlord's fair and exacting adjudicator. He speaks with the voice of Kairos' law. His word is judgment. All this and more you can learn by asking him yourself. Go on, or does he intimidate you still? I jest, of course. I have some concerns about the war, Callio. You're free to share them in my confidence. Our enemies squabble at each other's throats. Divided, we cannot win. I'm less concerned about the armies than the Archons themselves. There can be no order when mountains collide. Who would you see as champion? The disfavored are elite troops. The Scarlet Chorus, their ruthlessness will win. Neither. They are both equally inept. And then who would lead our advances or be let to deliver Kairos' peace? Would you wear this responsibility as a crown upon your head? You may find it a heavy burden to bear. Callio, you misunderstand my intent. Do I? That's enough of you. I like Callio. Rogulis. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Tell me about the old walls and the Bane. Tell me about Bane! The Bane are found in the old walls, but much of their defining quality still escapes me. They are creatures of smoke, claw, and fang. If you find yourself unfortunate enough to fight one, remember that spells are effective against them, but grab the attention of others lurking near. Tell me about the old walls. We know little enough about the ancient structures, save that they predate all historical record. The forbidding ruins crisscross the tiers and north alike centuries before we raised our cities. The only one old enough to guess is likely Kairos. Tell me about the tiers. The political entities of the tiers are essentially split between the Bastard Tier, the Younger Realms, and the Free Cities. Alright, forget that. Sages. Tell me about the sages. I will not speak of the sages. They are no better than charlatans and cons, wholly selfish in their ill pursuits to hoard all knowledge from others. They are self-blinded by their own deceptions and clever manipulations. They alone cause their own undoing and are solely to blame for the burning library, one of the most grievous of wrongs in the known histories for which they can never be forgiven. Wow. He's got some strong opinions. What do you think about the other Fatebinders? You'll need to be more specific than that, I'm afraid. There is one last count, only slightly more than a handful of us. The Fatebinder of War. Nunavol's keen, brash, and a hardy braggart with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews towards rather exacting and uncompromising punishment. Callio is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach, and she is perhaps Tunon's favorite. She has a mind for suspicion and observation that makes others uneasy. Can confirm. We who operate within the confines of the law have nothing to fear, of course. What's your opinion of me? You take liberties with the freedom Tunon offers us. In spite of that, your objectivity is beyond question. Nice. You would, I think, execute plaintiff and defendant if neither was worthy in your eyes. Yeah, he's got me. He's got me. Kill them all, let the Overlord sort it out. Okay. Oh yeah, so we can build something on top of the spire now. Or not build something, we can hire people. Let's hire some people up there. A trainer for mage stuff. Ooh, a fate binder. Change skills. Cool. A beast woman. A smith who produces weapons. That sounds useful. Skill trainer. Battlefield scavenger. A merchant. All sorts of options. Get some more money first, though. Alright, let's be on our way. Right. Leave the court. So, we can't... Oh no, we totally can go to Lethian's Crossing. Yeah, let's stop. It's on the way anyway. We gotta go to Ashweald. It's on the way. Let's stop at Lethian's Crossing. We gotta rest anyway. Ambush. Okay, well, first, let's rest. Okay, we're rested. You must be joking. A toll? I'll pay no such thing. Sorry, no one passes without paying. Absolutely not. I've come through Ironhall Trail more times than I can remember. No one's ever asked for a toll before, and I won't be paying one now. Fatebinder, surely you of all people can help me. My name is Aster. I must get to Lethian's Crossing. I have goods to deliver. Tell this man I will not be paying a toll to him or anyone, and he's to let me through. Greetings, Fate... Hey, it's me. Greetings, Fatebinder. I'm sorry you've been drawn into this. What you stumbled into here is merely a conflict of the changing times. I am Will of the Bronze Brotherhood. Ironhall Trail is under our protection, and anyone passing through must obey our rules. If this gentleman would like passage through our land, a simple donation is required. These funds help our cause and keep Ironhall a safe place for all travelers. Clearly, you both can see the value in that. And who exactly is keeping it safe? You standing there with your weapons at the ready against me? I am not but a traveling merchant. I have no money to spare, and I certainly pose no threat to anyone. Keep this area safe indeed. You're the only threat here. Fatebinder, please, talk some sense into this man. Well, what do we think? We could pay for the merchant. We could, order him to back off. We could tell the merchant to pay him. Or, fuck you, you're on your own. What authority do these guys have? I don't think they have any. He's part of the Bronze Brotherhood, a mercenary company from the free cities dotting the Tyr's southern coast. Many of these mercenaries are employed by Kairos' agents and slaughtered during the war. The Bronze Brotherhood survived thanks to their relatively safe posting at Lethian's Crossing, where the Voices of Narat hired the company to protect the town's forge operation. The Bronze Brotherhood have a reputation for ruthlessness and tenacity. So they're mercenary. They're mercenaries who have taken it upon themselves to charge a toll for crossing the river. Have we dealt with them before? No, we have not. So they're already being paid. You would think. You would think. Seems a bit like extortion to me. Good old protection racket. This man will not be paying a toll today. Call your guards off and allow us passage. Thank you, Fatebinder. You've done a great deal of good. And you, Brute, move aside. Perhaps you want to reconsider your stance on the matter, Fatebinder. Passage is bought with rings or blood, but I'll happily take both. Did he just threaten an officer of the court? I stand by my decision. I will leave in peace. So, a Fatebinder in our little corner of the world. Who would have ever thought this would happen? You're walking a dangerous line, Fatebinder. The Bronze Brotherhood never back down from threats. Normally, I'd knock you down where you stand for threatening me, but Raytamon demanded to see you if you came through here. I thought he was crazy saying you'd be visiting Lethian's Crossing. Looks like I owe him a few rings. Not that there's any shortage of those out here. Jingle jingle. What can this humble servant of the Bronze Brotherhood do for you, Fatebinder? Don't ask me to let you through, because that ain't happening. This ridiculous piece of mercenary alpha requires a lesson in pain and obedience. Allow me to teach him. Yeah, sure. If you think you can get him to move, do it. Sellsword, attend me. I take it your responsibilities have been explained to you. Keep the rabble on this side of the bridge, yes? That does not preclude taking orders from your betters. One of two things will happen. Either you will let us pass, or we will simply pass. There are no other options. Whatever role you have taken upon yourself to bar our way has already failed. You succeed only in delaying our task and annoying me. Go Barrack. Is your name Raytamon? Are you the leader of the Bronze Brotherhood? He cups his ear to listen. No? Didn't think so. Because he who decides who crosses who doesn't. If you have a problem with that, take it up with him. Ash, forgive me, but I can only endure so much of this fool's inane gibbering. Barrack backhands the mercenary. Hold on, I'm just doing my job. I apologize if I offended. Raytamon will have my head if I let you through. There's nothing I can do about it. And here's the Fatebinder. I knew we'd see you, just wondering when. What brings you out where no one asked you to come? Are Kairos' dogs ready to be put down again? I won't surrender the crossing no matter how many times you try to take it. We were hired to protect the city, and we will continue to do so. No one else will have it. Never mind. I don't care why you're here. My name is Raytamon. I'm the leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. But I'm sure you already know that. I couldn't help but see you over here talking to Will and that traveling merchant. Only here for a moment, already sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, aren't you? I don't appreciate others invading my territory, Fatebinder. I told him he had to speak to you, Raytamon. He wanted through, but I told him no. If you don't give me the signal, the Fatebinder isn't getting into Lethian's Crossing. No one will invade your territory. Watch yourself while you're a guest in my land. If you've come to stir up more trouble, we are well equipped and will not back down in the defense of what is rightfully ours. Welby and I might not always agree, but that is one point we see eye to eye on. If you step out of line, we will both correct you. You are not welcome here. Now tell me what you want or leave. You would do well to watch your tone when speaking to a Fatebinder. I care not about Kairos' forces. We've rebuffed their feeble attempt to remove us from our rightful home already. I'm more than happy to try again. You'll find I do not cower when you raise your voice against me, lapdog. Oh. Fine, look, I need to get to Lethian's Crossing. If I let you through, you must promise to behave. I have enough problems dealing with everyone else. I don't need the hassle of keeping an eye on you, too. So watch yourself. This is my city, and I have eyes everywhere. If you intend to stir up trouble, go somewhere else. I don't need it here. In fact, I would suggest going elsewhere right now. I might be forgiving of your presence, but word of your recent exploits has reached this crossing, and I won't guarantee your safety once you're inside the city. Someone who isn't too happy with your behavior might have offered a large sum of money for your head. Personally, I don't have time to deal with you right now. I'm far too busy dealing with more pressing issues, but if my men see fit to show you the error of your ways to earn a few rings, so be it. Arbitrarily attacking your allies has its consequences, Fatebinder. Put a contract on me. How many people have you fucked over, Fatebinder? I'm not in the habit of betraying confidences, so even if there is a contract, and I said maybe, I'm not going to tell you who wants you dead. I will reiterate. Watch yourself with the crossing. Right, thanks for the warning, asshole. Let the Fatebinder through. Do nothing to delay or accost the party, or you'll answer to me. Why are you charging travelers to get through Ironhall Trail? I don't see how the affairs of the Brotherhood are your business, Fatebinder. Suffice it to say, the funds we receive from our tolls help us keep the lands around Lethian's Crossing safe. We are owed our dues, and we shall have them. Alright, I'll speak again. Soon. I certainly hope that isn't the case. Alright. To Lethian's Crossing. That's called foreshadowing. Yeah, I thought they were mercenaries for Kairos too. I guess they were hired by the, the Tearsmen. Still a lot of local control in this empire. Yeah, well, if Grave and Ashen Voices and Riot would stop arguing with each other, maybe they would have subjugated the Tears by now. Fucking assholes. And they wonder why I refuse their help.
I can't.
I am out of practice, but I'll try.
Ooh. Sigil of Rooting. New accents are always good. Stop there, Fatebinder. Not another step. You are not welcome in Lethian's Crossing. I'm warning you. We will kill you if you don't turn around. I suggest you go now, before this gets ugly. You're really crazy, aren't you? Maybe all those stories about you are true. I'm not sticking around to find out. Nice. Oh. Are we gonna have to fight a bunch of people? Oh dear. Let me just check and make sure we haven't accidentally ended the path to power. No, it's still there. Okay. Alright, well, I guess we're fighting the garrison.
It'll take more than that.
As this count is causing trouble. I didn't start nothing. Okay, it wasn't me. Must have been somebody else. Wow. It's a nice little flip there.
Right.
Okay, so I think we have to defeat the garrison before we can actually do stuff in town. Which is fine by me, because if you kill them, you get to keep their stuff. That's also Kairos' piece. You guys didn't know that? Them's the rules, yep. Sure is.
Will do.
Send me your champion!
God damn it, get out of the way, Eb.
Take that!
Okay, watch this. This is gonna be cool.
Let us take them together!
So, did we get healed? And these guys get blasted with grave light. Yeah, see, Eb is pretty cool. Super useful. Section, look at Finders Keepers, part of the code, exactly. Finders Keepers is a very important section of Kairos' law. Also known as Findsies Keepsies. Another important aspect of Kairos' law is, of course, fuck around and find out. Which these guys are right in the middle of.
Another battle. On your command.
Okay, Barrack, time to do. Oh, he's already got enabled. Okay. Okay, we are hasted. Can I use a reputation ability? I can. But that's not very good, so we're going to instead use... more M powers. Alright. Attacks heal now. Ow. Christ. Chug a potion. Cast some buffs. Maybe put down a little illusory pit. Oh, Grave Strike. That sounds great. Cone attacks are awesome. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, the stupid drowning trick. Let's try that. No, I'm stunned. Barrack needs to heal. Oh, jeez, Barrack's down. Jeez. This is not going well. I might have come here too early.
Down!
Yeah, I definitely came here too early. Oops. Run! Run!
Consider it done.
Heb just blasts. Oh wait, no, invisibility. Ha! Invisible! Fuck you.
Not a problem.
Phantom Bolt. Grey Light's cool.
As you wish.
I feel faint.
Ah.
That which doesn't kill me
All right.
leaves me bitter.
Well, let's come back here later. Let's come back. Let's go talk to Mark instead. We can deal with the forge bound some other time. Gotta get some better gear, maybe some better spells. Oh, unredeemed water break. Hold on. Last of my water there. Okay. Alright, well that's right. Ash Wield. Ooh, encounter. You come upon several dense shrubs dotted with crimson berries, plump and ripe with thin skin that gives slightly under the pressure of your touch. Identify the plant. You recognize the plant as budding rose, a bush that produces edible berries. Fortunately, they're also mildly toxic to practitioners of magic. Well, we all practice magic, so let's leave them alone. Hey, this looks fun. Look at that. That's a fun place to be. Here we are, Ash Wield. Oh, Edict of Fire. That's right. We're near the Burning Library, so we are subject to the Edict of Fire. Praise
Will do.
Zorg. Now where is... Oh, hi, Mark. Lines of color emerge from the darkness. What at first appears to be a vaguely humanoid stain coalesces into focus. Bled and Mark, Archon of Shadow, emerges from his medium.
Blood and Mark. A little shorter than I always imagined.
Fatebinder. Huh. How good of you to finally show up. I'd also say it's good to see you again, but I prefer to lie by omission.
Nice.
Think before you speak next. I'd hate to have to kill you.
I got your message.
I saw what you did at Ascension Hall. You were right to take matters into your own hands. I can't believe the audacity of Ash and Arat, squabbling while an edict looms overhead, endangering all their vassals. You were right to treat such infantile antics with justice, raw and bloody.
See, there is a third choice between the Archons of Ash and Arat.
From where I stand, I would say you chose wisely. Why cater to the whims and agendas of questionable friends? Why whore your power for the approval of others?
And that third choice is Bled and Mark.
Allies are just enemies with great patience. Free yourself
Wow.
of such distractions and make your own way.
Make my own way. What do you mean by that?
Aside from the merry band you have following you, you're not exactly crawling with friends at the moment. You could keep to this lone hawk routine, but the other Archons will be hunting you. Or you could maybe accept a little help from the shadows, grow strong enough to hunt them back, and live to see the next several hundred years.
Why are you so interested in helping me?
Boredom, maybe. Old scores to settle. Plus, you're a member of the court, even if in questionable standing. That makes you family, of a type. Of course, I plan to use you to accomplish a few things I want done. Anyone who says otherwise lacks initiative or honesty.
Grimos is right. We do need more blades and allies. How can I trust you?
Kid, I've shown you 27 spots on the human body where life can be extinguished. I've made sure you know the ins and outs of every blade, cudgel, and pointed tool forged under Kairos' blazing sun. If you still don't trust me after all these years, I doubt you'll trust anyone.
As a promising agent of Tunon's court, you received past training from Bled and Mark in the arts of subterfuge and assassination. He trained us. We're his pupil. So what are you suggesting I do next?
If you really want your freedom from Tunon and the others, you'll need to become something the Archons cannot obliterate without breaking a sweat. There are a few relics around the tiers that, if they wound up in your hands, might give you a fighting chance. The Burning Library holds a very important treasure, the Silent Archive. There's much the sages do not know, but all that they know should be contained within the archive. Retrieve it, and in so doing, end the Edict of Fire.
You're telling me to grab a book full of criminal teachings. Do you think I'll fall for that setup?
Can't fault you for being suspicious. You'll need that skill if you want to live. And yes, I'm telling you to go nab a relic filled with heretical lore. I didn't say brag to Tunon about it. And if I wanted to trick you into holding incriminating evidence, I can think of easier ways.
How does one break the Edict of Fire?
The Edict of Fire will burn so long as the sage's forbidden lore remains within the library. To fulfill the edict, I'd suggest disposing of any sages still in the library and removing any books filled with teachings contrary to Kairos. This no doubt includes the Silent Archive.
Why should I break the edict?
Why? Because Kairos worded the edict to be broken, and others will fear and respect you for being the one to make it happen.
I assume it's a book or a scroll of some sort.
I would guess as much. I have not seen it with my own eyes, only heard tell, whispered with reverence. For all I know, it's a singing stone or an arcane quill, but knowing the sages, a book is the best guess.
I don't think you're simply going to saunter into the library, walk up to the archive, and take it. If it were that easy, someone would have done it. The sages love making things difficult. The archive is said to be hidden behind a barricade made from arcane energy. Only someone with knowledge of the passcode can get through it. Don't know about you, but I'm fresh out of spare passcodes. Fortunately for you, the sages can be as dumb as they are infuriating. They supposedly left parts of the passcode around the library. If you were to find all of them, you could use that to get past the barricade. Unfortunately for you, I have no clue where they are, so I hope you like sifting through soot and burnt parchment, because you're about to get your fill. After that,
Assuming you don't get yourself charred to a crisp, meet me here again after, and we'll discuss what comes next.
wait, I have questions. Make it quick. What should we ask? We'll get one. Six, what do you know about the old wall spires throughout the tiers? Now you're asking the right kind of questions, kid. What's the best thing to have when someone's trying to knife you in the back? Not an iron cuirass, think bigger, more impenetrable and taller, like a stone spire that can quite literally raise you above your enemies. There's a power that comes from standing above the rest, you know. Tell me about Ocean Spire. A couple centuries ago, the regents of Stal were of a mind that greatness awaited them, so they should reach the top. Should they reach the top? Of course, they lost so many engineers in the process, they eventually abandoned the task for a fool's errand. But if you're looking to access the Ocean Spire's central chamber, I happen to know of a sizable breach in the old walls, thanks to the destruction from a certain edict that should permit you illegal entrance. The old walls in Haven, or rather those that still remain, connect Twin Rivers and Lethian's Crossing. I can't say Lethian's particularly interests me, though it does have its charms, and brothels. The Forgebound certainly felt its lure. They thought it wise to erect their forge in the shadow of a spire, which is great if you don't mind the occasional Bane attack. The spire certainly improves the Forgebound's artisanal ability, but there are more than a few Bane of immense capacity lurking in Haven's old walls. So Narat's hired the Bronze Brotherhood to protect the crossing. They don't seem to mind the loss of life, or breaking Kairos' law to enter the old walls. That'd be Aurora Spire and the Dawning Spire you're talking about. What I really want to know is why Karen cut a path for the Dawning Spire, when the Stonestalkers, his fiercest supporters during his downfall, had long camped the Aurora Spire. Perhaps the Aurora Spire had become too tainted with blood to provide the healing he required. More questions. Okay, we get a few more, I guess. What do you gain from the Edict of Fire ending? Nothing, aside from confirmation that I can trust you with difficult tasks. If that's what you want to believe, of course. A lot of fire in that library. Probably not a lot of shadows either. Well, yes, aren't you observant? The Burning Library is not the sort of place where my gifts can be used to their fullest advantage. So you're just sending me into a fiery death trap to cull me if I'm useless. Yes, actually that's entirely what I'm doing. I need to test your mettle before I know what I can and can't trust you to do. How much do you want to bet Bloodmark is acting as Kairos' fixer, finding people who can properly break the edicts she sets out? Interesting idea. One might well wonder, if Kairos wanted the edict to stand in perpetuity, why would the edict be worded with a sunset clause? Makes you think, huh? Wonder if Kairos sets up the edict to be lifted if, in the event that something she wants to happen, happens. I think you just want the Silent Archive for yourself, Mark. There's something the sages know that I don't. If I wanted it, I'd grab it myself, not send some ankle biter to do it. Besides, an Archon of my station should not be seen with such things. I'm pointing you to the Silent Archive for your own betterment, but alas, Kairos has no law requiring you to follow good advice. You've known me for decades, you still don't trust me? Do I look like an idiot? I've known the voices of Narat for centuries, but I know it better than to trust him. Okay, let me ask you something else. Another time. You're too curious for your own good, kid. I'll see you later. For now, take this. Ooh, a sharp pain in your ribcage. Oh, I've been stabbed. Oh, no. It's a folded parchment. Run along, yeah? Try not to get killed. Received a missive from Tunon. Maybe Kairos wants the edicts to be broken, either because the issue has been resolved or because someone strong enough to brute force it does the deed. Either she gets a smart edict breaker or a powerful one. Interesting thought. Letter. I have received word that your former allies have rescinded your welcome among the camps. Accusations of treachery and sedition hound you. I receive daily demands that I hold you accountable with a public trial and execution. I have assured all that I will investigate these claims thoroughly. Be warned that we all inevitably answer for our choices. You are no exception. In the meantime, I understand that Blood and Mark has taken particular interest in you. I trust there is no need to illustrate the implications of his attention. Tunon the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. Oh dear. Oh dear.
I got it.
Well, he's taken an interest indeed, but, well, we know something Tunon doesn't. Let's... Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on. I want to do something first. Can I do it here? Lantry's a smart guy.
At your service.
I have... Let's discuss current matters,
Of
Lantry.
course. How can I help?
You're taking a lot of notes. What about?
All kinds of things. My mind is old. Memory's a sieve. Keeping track of you. Noting what I hear of the war. Scribbling down reminders to myself. That sort of thing.
Are you spying on me?
Well, yes. If I'm worth my weight in tin as a craftsman of record, future generations will know of you. So yes, the Archon of Posterity sent me. You seem troubled by something that ought to be an honor.
I like the idea of you recording me.
Do you have something to hide? Do you want your actions forgotten? Either way, if I actually survive following you and make a cogent text out of this ramble of notes, well, if that happens, and you hate it, you can torch the pages.
Fair enough. All right, keep writing. History will want to know me.
On that, we agree. Don't worry, history needn't know the exact body count of your saga.
Is it safe to be writing on your arms that much?
Oh, certainly not. But it depends on the ink I'm using. Too much cerulean and I can't sleep. But just the right amount, and I can write all night. The red ink will give you swamp bottom if you drink it, but absorbed through the skin, it'll make you taste colors and smell music. Speaking of which, I should change out my tip.
If you didn't catch it, Lantry is taking notes as tattoos on his arms. And, presumably elsewhere.
I use 3 kinds: sepia, cerulean, and a red that's never the same shade. My recipe needs work. I like having 3 colors, but they also provide different states of mind for writing.
Should we try the inks? Let's try the ink.
No. No. I'm trying to observe you.
Okay.
Corroding your mind is not part of the plan.
Maybe later.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss?
I'd like to discuss arcane matters.
And I'd be happy to oblige. Ever since the fall of the Vellum Citadel, it is hard to find someone with whom I can discuss such things.
What do you know? Are you familiar with the old walls?
Familiar is a relative term. I think I know more than most, but it's a subject of mystery, even to the scholars. Though, I must admit, in addition to my reading, I've ventured into the old walls on occasion. And soiled many undergarments in the process.
Do you know who built them or why? We can only seem to agree that they were built. There's no consensus as to the who of it. We generally use the old realms or older realms when describing the folk that must have done all this construction ages ago. That's also where the younger realms got their name indirectly. Azure, Stalwart, all of them are older than you and I, but compared to the old walls, they're babies. As for the why, that's anyone's guess. I've always assumed it's an ancient road and aqueduct network. If you just needed to fence off your neighbors, you wouldn't have such elaborate, expensive masonry on the inside. What sorts of things have you seen? Aside from the terrifying Bane? Well, every section of the old walls has its own jaw-dropping architecture. I've seen bridges that move when someone's near, mystical barriers that must have been standing for aeons. And I've seen remains, so many remains. A lot of them sages from centuries past, or hapless drifters that must have been desperate for shelter. What fascinates me most are the symbols found in the interior architecture. I can't help but think if we shared notes with other Old Walls explorers, we might someday decipher the meanings. Kairos forbids exploration of the Old Walls. Do the Tiersmen have similar laws? In typical Younger Realms fashion, entering the Old Walls was never illegal, but plundering them was, the logic being that which rests in the Old Walls belongs to your local ruler, not you. The noble houses made a point of buying up anything that came out of the Old Walls. Plenty of ancient stuff in there, but sometimes you find stuff that's just a generation old, left by the last fool trying to search for treasure. If you've been through the Old Walls, you must be familiar with the Bane. More so than is healthy. I've seen one rip a young scribe in half with its nebulous talons, and I've run away from more than my fair share of angry Bane. That sounds redundant, they all seem angry. Heard all sorts of theories on the Bane. Heard they were dead mages. The nightmare of Archons come to life. One sage believes they're Kairos' children. Guess if you have enough ink and parchment, you can crap out any dumb idea. I profess to know very little and stick to what can be observed. They appear cunning but lacking language, and they have animal-like qualities, but they seem drawn only to magic and commotion. Food and water seem irrelevant to them.
And I'd be happy to oblige. Ever
Spires.
since the fall of the Vellum Citadel, it is hard
What
to
do you
find someone
know
with whom I can discuss such things.
of the spires? History used to say the older realms built the spires. These days, you'll hear children repeating that Kairos built them. Guess that's the new history. There are spires all over Tyranny, though I don't know the count. Maybe 40 or so. 5 are in the tiers, and generally the spires follow the old walls, often occurring at junctions in the old masonry. The mountain spire is a notable exception. The other spires in the tiers connect to the old walls, but the mountain spire is freestanding, a sore thumb in the middle of the tiers. Any idea to their purpose? Lightning rod? Perched from it to survey the lands below? Signposts for a society of folks that flew like birds? On this matter I have only conjecture and flights of fancy. The best hypothesis I've heard is that they were all built at the sites of major settlements now long gone, so maybe their haphazard placement is a hint about how the maps of the old might have looked. Any idea why magic works better near the spires? The sages liken the phenomenon to heat radiating from a candle. The air is just thicker with magic the closer you get to a spire. It can be deadly, trying to work spells close to a spire if you aren't wise to the effect. I'd be famous if I could tell you why this happened. I've always assumed they are the magical equivalents of river sources. Just as water endlessly flows from certain special sites, so too are there places where magic pours endlessly from a natural source. Any idea who built the structure on top? Know any sculptors with superhuman strength and the power to fly? If not, I'm out of ideas. Structurally speaking, it looks vaguely, and I do mean vaguely, similar to the sculptures in the old Academy of Tides. But if that were the case, I think we'd know more. I also noticed the resemblance, but I can assure you if it was built by an old tidecaster, it was the best-kept secret in a school that prided itself on showmanship and boasting about your exploits. The symbols in the structure certainly look like they could be related to the symbols found in the old walls, so I'm all but certain the structure was built by the same craftsman that built the spire.
And I'd be happy to oblige.
Okay, edicts. Kairos has cast many of the ages, and to my knowledge has never worded 2 edicts exactly the same. Edicts defy our understanding of magic. Kairos' magic works over vast distances, over indefinite durations, and no Archon or mere mage can counter the force of an edict. Do edicts work on the same arcane principles as spellcraft and other magic?
Edicts are the strongest manifestation of magic we know, and they seem to violate all other lesser phenomena. No dispel cantrip has ever dented or abated an edict. Even Archons with powers of great durability cannot shrug off their effects. Just look at Cairn. Now, what I find curious, edicts can flex a little. Or so my studies suggest this is the case. Take the Edict of Storms. While the day it was proclaimed was the most violent, the actual radius of the storm has changed over time. But most will have none of my hypotheses on this matter.
Tell me of edicts in general. I explain to my students like this. A spell is to an edict as a drop of rain is to a hurricane. Edicts and spells are both magical cantrips, but differ in intensity by orders of magnitude. Edicts are almost commands to Tyranny that must be carried out until the instructions allow for the magic to end. If Kairos wants a plague until next Judge's Day, expect copious buboes? Until next Judge's Day. Nothing has ever dispelled an edict. Nothing outside of the edict's own sunset clause, as I like to think about them. Okay, fine, I'll take the bait. What's your conjecture about edicts?
So, in my studies, some edicts resolve some problem of the overlords and then vanish into history. But the edicts that linger around, almost all of them begin to widen. Their effects become more intense. Here's the intriguing part. The older the edict, and the more that's written about it, the more the reports of that edict get more dire over time.
That's how legends work. Each generation tells them bigger.
True, I could just be overreacting to sloppy record-keeping, but my hunch is that there's some correlation going on here. I contend that edicts are powered by fear. Fear of Kairos helps fuel the casting, and fear of the edict feeds the magic, sustaining it, and, if enough people fear it, even growing it a bit.
Rule by fear is certainly Kairos' way.
Intellectual honesty demands that I study the matter more. If I'm correct, the more people fear and obsess over an edict, the stronger it becomes. Anyway, another study for another time.
This is called foreshadowing. I'm curious about a specific edict. Any thoughts on the Edict of Execution? It seems like the Archons are about to kill each other, and the threat of mutual destruction was about all Kairos had left. I imagine fear is the only way to get someone like the Voices of Nerat to follow orders, and the Edict certainly did whip them into action. Edict of Fire, yeah, I did that one. I know that you warned us. I'm alive today because of you, as are so many of my brothers and sisters, and I'm most certain you were not ordered to warn us, so all the more reason to honor your decision. You know, given the destruction involved, a warning seemed the humane thing to do. A noble sentiment. The edict had its intended effect. It crushed the will of the school and scattered the sages to the wind. I'm glad it brought an end to the conflict, and thanks to your warning, without further loss of life. Edict of Stone. The Edict of Stone ravaged the realm of Azure. The upheaval of earth and rock turned the rolling plains into a craggy steppe known as the Stone Sea. Since the edict was directed at the traitorous Archon of Stone, it would seem the upheaval of Azure was a secondary consequence, though I imagine little of what Kairos does is unintentional. Edict of Storms. The Edict of Storms turned the once forested lands of Stalwart into a wind-swept wasteland. They call it the Blade Grave now, since only the iron and bronze armaments remain. Hurricane breezes, rust winds, relentless lightning have destroyed the housing and farmlands.
And I'd be happy to oblige.
Spellcraft.
I've forgotten more than most blood chanters have ever learned. What do you want to know?
Can you teach me anything?
I think you know all I can teach you.
What sort of magic did the sages teach you? Sage Sindon tutored me in traditional sigils, those of preservation, concealment, and healing, as derived from the bygone archons of Tharavis, Fading Wrath, and the Orphan Midwife. Preservation magic is largely functional, sealing parchment, binding books, that sort of thing. All of us chroniclers learn concealment magic as our ideal method would be to study events without contaminating the decisions being made. As for the healing magic, many of us modern sages study this a great deal. The school has a shoddy reputation among the common folk. I figure if they knew us as healers and caregivers, maybe we start to change opinions. So, you study magic to spy on people? You call it spying, I call it studying a subject without inducing causative elements, but I suppose, yes, my magic is useful for doing the stealthy sorts of things one expects a spy to do. Way to make me sound so tawdry. Tell me about signing magic. Scholars don't have a word for what Archons do when they cast magic. Couldn't tell you how Graven Ash casts his protection over his soldiers, nor would I know how Blood and Mark consciously decides to move through a shadow. But when us mere mages want to cast a spell, we do so by signing the sigil of an Archon that previously discovered the magical phenomenon in question. It's debated whether Archons create new magic or just discover magic that was waiting for us, but such questions seem impossible to answer while sober.
And I'd be happy to...
I've studied many of the Archons for many years. Compared to the other sages, I'm an expert on the subject. which is sad because I feel like I've still so much to learn. How does the magic of Archons work? Archons have magical powers that are intuitive. When Voices of Nerat pulls out someone's mind or Graven Ash protects his soldiers, that magic isn't assigned a spell or ritual. To them, it's close to flexing one's hand. Archons are the... what's the word for it? Axiom of magic? The root of magic? Spell pioneers? I'm sure this analogy is off in many ways, but I see Archons as the mothers of original magic and everyone else just imitating them. So here's something interesting. Here's some lore, okay? While every guild or school of magic will ascribe a different name to the theory, all mages inevitably stumble upon an inescapable fact. Only the Archons can will magic into being. Everyone else can only cast magic by invoking the sigil of an Archon that has come before. None know how the Archons do their magic. It seems to be different with each Archon, but the theory suggests that once an Archon starts to invoke their powers, anyone else who comes after that Archon could, with the proper knowledge, tap into that power with the proper sigil and know-how. This observed law has given rise to a common question from young students. Could one guess at the sigil of an Archon not yet born, or not remembered by history, or simply unknown to the caster, and successfully cast a spell? Experienced mystics would tell you this is impossible, for they know it's not enough to just mimic the gestures of the sigil. One must have willful, conscious knowledge of the Archon and the intended power being channeled. Interesting, isn't it? This is called foreshadowing. To confuse things a bit, some Archons learn to cast other spells in the same fashion as us lesser mages. If you're as important as an Archon, you learn quick that all knowledge is power. Yeah, it is terrifying, hey Grimos? Do you picking up the implication there? Really makes you think. How is an Archon born? I think we all dream of one day waking up and being an Archon. Given some of the madmen and loons that have exhibited mystical greatness, it can seem unfair that the rest of us can't do it. So the Archons basically will magic and the associated symbols into existence. Yeah, maybe. Seems to be the case. Seems to be. Archons do magic by flexing. Everybody else can imitate them, but they have to know who the Archon is and know the proper magical symbols. But if you know those things, you can tap into the Archon's power and use it for yourself. I can say with confidence Archons aren't born, they become. Graven Ash is a good study of this. Before he was the Archon of War, he was a successful commander, each victory more daring and glorious than the next. I think he meant to say than the last. Somewhere along the way, his leadership took on mystical qualities. The Graven Ash we know today can reach out and protect his soldiers from harm, but maybe at first he could just protect those near him. I wouldn't know for certain, but all will attest he didn't have this power his whole life. Are the Archons loyal to Kairos? Officially, yes. In actuality, no. Those with the true gift for magic always come to the attention of Kairos, if you manage to evade attention for a bit. The School of Tides was founded by one such uncontrollable, but these are history's exceptions. Occulted Jade, Archon of Tides, never bowed to Kairos. It said she survived the assassins sent to silence her. It makes her flight from Kairos before the war all the more troubling. We knew her as the symbol of strength, but when threatened, her weaker nature won. And when we write biographies of the Archons, we often refer to them as exarchs in their formative years before stepping into their prime, but officially Kairos is supposed to grant all titles of Archon. It's quite the faux pas to self-appellate. Exactly why Jade insisted on calling herself Archon of Tides. She didn't need Kairos' approval to wear the title she deserves, and I know she loved the fact that doing so must have annoyed Kairos.
And I'd be happy to oblige. Ever since...
Okay, let's...
Of course. How can I help?
Let's see if we can do the inks now. We try the inks.
I can't in good conscience poison you.
Then hand it over. I'll poison myself. Ah, we're good.
Oh, fine. The things I do to educate the youth. Here's how it works. The Reds give you a brief bout of synesthesia, great for writing music. Cerulean can unhinge me a bit, but it blocks out the cramps and anxiety. My sepia ink is perfect for quiet contemplation. Also insomnia.
Alright, which one should we try? Which one should we try? Red gives you synesthesia. Cerulean is unhinging. Sepia is for contemplation. Sepia, red. Sepia, okay.
Made from only the finest cuttlefish.
Alright.
What do you think?
The proclamation of fire still lingers. No matter where you wake up, it still smells like a campfire. Nobody seems to notice. The cups you hold stay warm, which would be nice if you were back at home where it was cold, but in this miserable heat, a chilled beverage is rare enough. You were used, a living conduit for magic that lingers for a somewhat conditional forever, and the tissues of your body still crisp at the edges.
I'd say it's working. Sit and enjoy that for a bit. It'll wear off soon.
Let's try another one. Give me more ink.
One moment, my friend. Just let me finish this thought.
More ink.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable I know
Oh,
everything.
not that. Current
Of
matters.
course. How can I help? All kinds of things.
Let's try the cerulean. Aside from the chalky sensation.
Feel anything?
Feel anything? All of these thoughts. Like a double-edged sword? Why is that used as a simile for something that can hurt you when you use it? You don't actually hit your enemy then yourself, then hit your enemy then yourself, unless you're an idiot. Sure hope that saying doesn't catch on for the ages. What is Kairos' problem? Can't get off your damn throne and actually visit your subjects? How do we know Kairos isn't already dead? Or it's like a title that gets handed off to mother to son. I spent 3 years slogging the tears for this ass, and you know what? I really don't know if Kairos exists. Did you know that legally speaking, my word is the same as Tunon's word unless the Archon contradicts my word as Fatebinder? Regula says the legal term for this is proxy decisis. Callio says the legal term is fuck you, I'm the law. Just random thoughts. This is some real Disco Elysium intrusive thoughts energy here.
On second thought, I shouldn't be poisoning your young mind. That should wear off in just a moment.
Alright, that's enough of that. Let's go to the library. Ah!
Know this scent. Stench of blood, sweat, battle, iron and death. Smells like alpha. Smells of strength. But is male. Have been stalking human centrail. Have ranged many more than 5 nights through tribe and human territories of Tyr's land, hunting for human called Fatebinder. For human who woke Horizon Rock called Mountain Spire. Have hunted hot high, cold low, wet dry. Traipsed far until paws bled, but always human who smelled of alpha evaded beast woman. Had to slink through shadows, fast, quick, without rest to catch delicious prey at last.
You must be from the Shadowhunter tribe.
Fatebinder knows tribes of beast women. Curious human. Male who smells of alpha and knows of Shadowhunter tribe. Best tribe. Lost tribe of kills in shadow.
what to do. Introduce yourself before I lose my patience.
Can Fatebinder not see? Beast woman, Beast hunter, kills in shadow, daughter of mystic brood mother, relict, alpha to pack of stone whelps.
Pimpan number 4, slap. Whap.
Will kill. Will rip throat out. Will lash, twist, tear, and mangle.
Oh dear. Time to fight.
Stop dodging!
Where is... Did that do it? Guess we can't do it anymore. Did we... Weird. Yeah, there used to be another ability with Barrick, but it doesn't seem to work anymore. Oh well.
We can do this!
Damn it.
Come on, face my
Taunted. Okay, let's try that one again. Come on, Varric. Over here. Barrick, can you maybe grab that one? No. Oh, here it is. Iron Tolling. It's right there in front of me. Duh.
We can do this!
Okay, there. That grabbed him. Fireball. Barrick is down.
Doesn't kill
Ab is also down. This may have been a mistake.
me better at Jake.
What if I set you on fire? Yes! Fire. Fireworks. Oh, damn it. Okay. That's... Mirror image, very good. Finish you off.
On it.
Stab. Maybe a little bit of healing. Would be nice. There we go. Okay, stab. Oh, I know. These guys don't have very good armor, so let's switch to bronze.
I did that?
Flurry, come on, flurry.
This is you.
Oh, no, okay, so weapon ineffective, so back to iron then.
I should
Back to iron and
try
mage
something
fire.
else.
Dead, okay, good. Heal. Zap you.
See that? I'm not
I
entirely.
need some more combat skills other than just straight magic. Lantry, you got anything for me? Yeah, please heal. Please heal me, Lantry.
I'll take care.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Stab. Got him. Got anything else, Lantry? Come on, prone. Got him. Okay, good.
Will do.
He's down. Get him. Mage fired. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh. Drops to all fours. Ducks her head in a show of submission. How do we want to handle this? Do you want to go loyalty or fear? What's the way we want to go with this? Okay, you were saying? Let's go with 2. You were saying? I believe you're about to mangle me.
Yield, yield, yield! Kills and Shadow yields to Fatebinder.
Why have you tracked me down? Why get in my way?
No human called Fatebinder. Kairos breeds words on paper. Fatebinder binds words to earth and sky. Makes ground tremble. Makes night cry. Blood and fire.
The Beast Woman know of Tunon's Fatebinders.
Human is not first Fatebinder. Kills and Shadow has hunted. Fatebinder pisses in Kairos' eye, but is not slain. Stole Horizon Rock called Spire. Spat at Archons, yet lives. Fatebinder is strong. Smells of mystic iron death. Is vaster tougher than rest of Kairos' kith.
Okay, so maybe you've heard of me.
Kairos hunts human realms to extinction. Rules tribe of blood and ruin, starvation and death. Seeks to slaughter beast women like prey. But beast women are not prey. Are not flighty, feeble-minded humans. Beast women are savage hunters. Bred to fight Kirut, like Fatebinder who smells of alpha.
Alpha, huh?
Strong always kill weak, then grow weak. Nor killed is migration of life. But Kills in Shadow is not weak now. Will not be weak for many long seasons. Will join Fatebinder and survive Kairos' tribe.
If you'll want to join me, it'll have to be as my beta.
Kills in Shadow is not beta. But even alphas submit to stronger-willed primas. Many packs make a tribe. Is this not a thought humans also understand? Beast Woman will follow Fatebinder. Will not dominate. Unless Fatebinder begins to smell weak.
Fine. Keep your nose to yourself.
Kills in Shadow will not shelter stone whelps anymore. Scamper, run, flee! Do not want to see shadows lurking, stalking behind. Barb cleft is leader now. Will not like if Kills in Shadow catches sight or scent of stone mongrels again.
Alright, so we have
Be seeing you, Fatebinder.
a party member. And it's this. Hello. Puppy dog. Yeah, totally. Totally. For sure.
Fatebinder wants Beast Woman?
Fatebinder wants you to bathe.
I'm bathing right now.
I'd like to know more about you.
Am best hunter. Am last of tribe. Tribe who killed King Vipers, Alarion, and Thorn Stags extinct. Am alpha. Brood mother. can smell earthblood like mystic. What else does Alpha to Kills and Shadow long to know?
That's an interesting name.
Best hunter is clever hunter. Stalk slow and soft. Pat, pat, pat. Silent. Strikes. Fast, fast, fast. Kills without hesitation.
You seem like a born killer.
Did not kill out of mother's womb. All whelps suckle first, learn later. Beast Woman's first blood was in second season after birth.
How did you end up with the Stone Stalkers?
Am not Stone Stalker. Lost tribe. Left Haven lands. Migrated east. Was alone long time. Hunted many humans. Killed. Raged like undying fire. Then found pack of stone whelps. Caitiffs, outcasts of tribe, who needed Alpha.
If you're not a Stone Stalker, why are you leading a pack of beastmen from that tribe?
Is true. Am Shadow Hunter from Havenlands, but am last of tribe. After tribe was slain, Kills in Shadow loped to Stone Lands, stalking on long hunt for disfavored, but soon became needed by weak whelps, by Stone Stalkers who had been slaves and had not learned how best to fight.
Tell me of your tribe. Insufficient reputation. Okay, just never mind.
Lead conversation. Beast Woman will follow.
Had any good hunts?
Good, yep. And many more than 5. Waded up deep, murky stream near disfavored camp. Pawed in mud of bank, but did not leave tracks. Crept low and quiet to tent flap, scenting with tongue. Caught ironclads and dragged, squirming like hurt rabbits, into cold black depths of river. Disfavored cannot swim like Beast Woman. Only can sink.
I want your opinion on something.
Fatebinder has good musk. Smells of bloodlust, of predator, of savage strong alpha. Is good to ask Beast Woman for advice. Even strong alpha needs cunning of bulwark at side.
Ranking second in command of a beast tribe, a position often held by the most savage of beast women, the Bulwark's primary responsibility is to enforce order and obedience within the tribe and carry out the Prima's commands. In the smaller structure of a pack, the Bulwark performs these same duties in loyalty to the Alpha. What do you think of others in our pack?
Are brazen, callow, are not as savage fast keen as Beast Woman, but are not weak. Fatebinder whelped good, tough pack.
What Lantry? Insufficient reputation. Okay, we'll come back to that.
Lead conversation. Beast Woman will follow.
Alright. Never mind for now. We have a new ally. Maybe some might, vitality, quickness. Seem like good traits for a hunter. Let's give her Ravager talents. These are fun. Primal Scream. Natural weaponry, very good. Ooh, bonus of subterfuge. Bonus experience. Rending claw. Ooh, armor penetration. That's good. I like armor penetration. Claw swipe. Primal Scream. More damage. Or no, claw swipe, yeah. Special attacks are good. Does she know any magic? Not really. Oh, we should give Ebb some extra spells. Maybe Concussive Bolt. That seems like a good one. What are her skills? Control lightning, control grave light, tide casting. Oh, maybe we can get Ebb to teach us grave light. We got some loyalty with her.
What is it you need? Ask away.
Teach me of magic.
You know, I normally charge for this, but for you...
What can you tell me of your magical tradition?
Now, you know that's a very personal question. The knowledge I have is a centuries-old gift from the Archon of Tides. I would sooner discard my life than the sanctity of that gift. I will speak in generalities only.
Tell me how... Can you teach me what you know? This was capable, but no. The secrets of the Archon of Tides dies with me. Occult of Jade, Archon of Tides, is the founder of the School of Tides, as well as its only ruler. Having arrived with the settlers that made landfall at Five Wives, she is perhaps the oldest known living Tearsman. Capable of manipulating the oceans, the moons, and all transitory forms of water, Occult of Jade used her magic to form a cabal of seafaring traders, musicians, and academicians. And it was the dedication to the arts that helped the school endure, for by teaching these traits to the children of noble families, the school remained in the good graces of the realms. Being able to control most anything cyclical and fluid, Occult of Jade has lived for centuries and could still be alive today, but none know with certainty. In the years before the conquest, the School of Tides discovered the Overlord's plan to invade. Despite all assumptions, the Tyr's resident Archon would defend her school and home. To the surprise of everyone, the Archon vanished across the seas, taking nearly the entire School of Tides with her into exile across uncharted waters. Tell me how you influenced Tyranny's grave. That's a trade secret. At least it was a trade secret up until a few years ago. My masters were taken before the voices of Narat, and he pried that wisdom from their minds. Yeah. Oops. That's right. That's right, we did that, didn't we? Tell me how you influence mist, ice, and other forms of water. With years of training. Before you ask, I've learned plenty from knowledge stolen by the sages, but no, I don't know how to do what Ep does. Magically or otherwise. From what Archon do the Tidecasters draw their magic? The first Tidecasters were given the gift of magic by Occult of Jade. Though she was not of Kairos' ilk, she was as powerful as any Archon, and from her name and legacy we can mimic the moon's pull in the seas and change the currents. Tyranus the planet has two satellites visible to the naked eye, the tide-locked Tyranus Grave and the rapidly orbiting Interloper. Scholars have long studied the effects of these two moons on the ocean currents and a great deal of folklore concerning the origins of the moons. A common belief in Kairos is that Tyranus Grave will finally set on the horizon when Kairos' rule ends, whereas those of the Tiers insist the moons are older than the old walls and it will outlive even Kairos. From her we have spells to turn the moon's pleasant hues into a baleful ray of searing grave light. In all these years I have not grown tired of the thrill of power. Grave light is the magical term for the light of the moon Tyranus Grave, specifically when harnessed and manipulated for nefarious purposes. While the moon's rays are normally incapable of causing so much as a mild sunburn, the Tidecasters have long studied magic that can concentrate these rays into bolts and beams of searing doom. The Tidecasters have spent centuries trying to mimic and control the moon's tidal pull on the oceans, and will often mention that diverting moonlight is the easy stuff compared to pulling and pushing tides. But modern times force the School of Tides to concentrate on the more martial applications of this magic. What are the philosophical teachings of your magic? There's a question I can answer. It would surprise you little to learn we see all things, people, wars, seasons, to be cyclical, waxing and waning through their various forms like the tides and the light of Tyranus Grave. The mind is limited. We're born and spend our lives dodging death. We expect all stories to have a beginning and an end. We assume all things start and stop just like us. In truth, all things are cycles, some by matter of minutes, others by matters of years or lifetimes. In the School of Tides, we appreciate patterns of all sorts. Most are called to the depths. Others find their interests skybound. Many still find the tides of human emotion and political fortune far more intriguing than inanimate tides found in orbits and oceans. Guessing you can tell me more than I ever wanted to know about the moons? Ah, you'd be right. My magic is generally associated with the moon Tyranus Grave, but you have to know where the interloper is in the sky when mucking about with mystic forces. Do you control control water, or do you mimic the tidal effects the moons have on water? Both, actually. I'm amused you're keen on the difference. Our spells of ice and mist affect water directly, but are of limited volume. Displacing your own body weight in water is no mean feat. But if I were to move an ocean current, I'd drive myself nuts moving water in front of a boat a little at a time. That's where I'd use a cantrip to simulate a tidal pull. Interloper is the one that moves in the sky. Exactly. Interloper orbits Taratus at a steady clip, and its orbit sometimes crosses in front of Taratus' grave, leading to mystical calamity if you don't know what you're doing. And Taratus' grave is the big one. Taratus' grave is fixed in the sky, always overhead day and night. It was first named by folks living far to the east. They look to the west and see the moon like a permanent hill on the horizon, a grave where the sun dies each evening. That's how the older folks saw it. If you live in the western part of the world, Taratus' grave is overhead all the time. That means day and night it's reflecting the sun's rays, and if you know what you're doing, it doesn't just reflect, it magnifies. Fuck it. I command you to teach me what you know. Then go ask the voices of Narat. You helped deliver him all that we know, so go ahead and ask him. Okay, look, I understand this knowledge is important to you. I assure you it will be used for great things. You know what? You're right. Secret's already out, and I should know better than to taunt someone of your temperament. Besides, we Tidecasters love a good bit of destructive nonsense, and I know you can be trusted to carry on that essential pillar of our teaching. First things first. This is Occulted Jade, Archon of Tides. Watch carefully. Alright. Click. And we got it. I'd ask you to use this knowledge wisely, but it's not like I do. Okay, so we have a reputation ability. And new sigil spell core. Sigil of Taratus. Alright. Summon and control the light of Taratus' grave. Alright, so we can do Grave Grasp. Target foe. Health drained, recovered. Cool. And we can do Phantom Bolt. Ranged life drain. Cool. Let's give Ebb ground. No, she can't do grounding core. Let's give her Healing Wisps. That's a useful one to have. And Lantry can now use Vital Body. Excellent. Okay, we're going to replace... Let's replace Champion's Fortune with Vital Body. Lantry's going to be my main heal battery, I think. You can up the intensity of some of his other spells with the Accent of Intensity. And I can do that for some of mine, too. Unless I already have. Looks like I already have. Okay, never mind. Maybe I can learn something else that's cool. Like Spectral Blur. Spectral Blur sounds useful. Good defensive spell. Actually, no. I like Mirror Image. We'll keep that. Is everyone asleep? Maybe. It's possible. Stranger things have happened. Actually, I probably should call it off pretty soon here.
Will do.
Well, we'll get to the library and then I'll call it there. This is nice. Yeah, it's the, it's kind of the mood of these streams. A lot of me reading. That's fine. That's fine. So anyway, some lore dumps there. Let's move on to... If there was one place in all of the tiers that was for praise and Zorg, it would be the Burning Library. us enter the burning library. Yeah, so because we're in the area of the Edict of Fire, we have this persistent buff, plus 15 to all magic skills, an additional plus 15 to control fire, and the Bane are empowered. All characters in the region are imbued with increase in magic skill, party gains an increase to burn damage, and all melee attacks apply a small amount of burn damage. Praise him. Oh, hello. Who are you? Scarlet. Oh, Chorusman. Foul Murmur. But isn't the betrayer himself? Want anything here, you should meet with the censor. She's to the east. You should go, now. Okay. Looks like a sage. Some dead folks. Just take their stuff. We're gonna have to fight through the chorus, man, aren't we? I think we might. I think we might have to.
See that?
No, I don't see that. There's a trap somewhere, but I can't see it. Oh, there. No, nope. I can't see it. I cannot see the trap. Corpses of sage are skewered on the spikes. Their skin is blackened by the heat of the magma belching from nearby fissures. Oh, there, I see. It's a note. No, it's a magical accent. Oh yeah, there's the spear thing. Actually, why don't we give Lantry a proper mage weapon? Give him a staff. No more of this quill bullshit. Keep it ranged, motherfucker. Oh. The censor will be very interested in your presence, Fatebinder. She's near the entrance of the library. Okay, cool. Just gonna help myself to some of your stuff. Don't mind me.
Sorry, I can't.
Just, you know, just looting things. The censor. Okay. Hello. Oh, you're one of the. Okay. You're one of those. Stay your weapons. This is Tunon's Fatebinder. And what a complicated pleasure it is to find you in my camp. Now, what would the wild dog want with my library? Should seem particularly happy you decided to turn your back on your allies and forge on your own. It wasn't enough to turn your back on your master and piss on everyone who put you where you were. And are you here to try and take this away too? The only reason I've instructed my soldiers to show restraint is because of the sensitive operation ongoing in the ruins, one that I don't intend to disturb. The players in that little game have enough to keep themselves occupied. With that said, I wouldn't hesitate to kill you if it proved necessary, so why don't you tell me what you're doing here? We'll see how this goes. Let's play it safe. I'm just passing through. Then pass on through and be gone. Okay. Well then.
Sorry, I can't.
Maybe there's another way in. This passageway has been blocked by a magical field. A magic field. What's down here? More people. Oh, loot. I had to move the camera because the chat window's in the way. You have a name? Go away. Okay. Really? Can't go up here. No one enters without the censor's permission. Alright, let's... Okay, hold on. Tell me what you know about the Edict of Fire. Why? Not as though you're going to be able to do anything with the information. I believe the Silent Archive at the heart of the Vellum Citadel was never destroyed. If that's true, it would explain why the Edict is ongoing. If someone were to get down there and remove the Silent Archive from the library, I'm willing to wager it could be used to fulfill Kairos' will. Now, as much as I enjoy entertaining your company, I need every man and woman here to continue scouring the library. If you would do me the honor of making yourself scarce, I can refocus on more important matters. I'm here to search the library, let me pass. Absolutely not. The library is too important to the likes of you inside. I don't have time to discuss the matter further. You're free to leave. If you step further into my camp, then I will find a more expedient way to deal with you. Okay. I'm gonna have to fight them, aren't I? Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to fight them. This is interesting, though. Hey, we just got rid of my frag. Lantry.
One moment, my friend. I am
Tell me
nothing.
about schooling and Quill.
You mean what's left of them? What would you like to know?
What sorts of sigils do the sages practice?
Traditionally, we use magic only so that we may observe and archive. So that means magic of concealment and protection. But, in truth, we have amassed a great wealth of knowledge. Before the Vellum Citadel fell, any given subject of magic had at least one sage practicing it.
So you're admitting you had at least one agent of yours studying the magic of the Tidecasters?
Well, I mean, if such information had fallen into our hands generations ago, we'd be fools not to...
Not to suckle off that ill-gotten teat of knowledge? Filthy word whores of the worst degree. The Edict of Fire wasn't half of what you deserved.
I can see this conversation is going to very constructive places. Both of you drop it.
What would you like to know?
I think that'll do for now. Gotta be a back door. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There's gotta be a back door. There has to be a way to get in without just, like, fighting everybody. There's gotta be a way. There's always a way. There's always a way. Just gotta find it. I was hoping maybe there was some kind of, like, School of Ink and Quill password that Lantry knew, but I guess not. Oh, there's a guy up here. Maybe he knows. Still can't talk to him. And can't talk to him either. What if... Okay, I'm having thoughts. Apply the old Roman siege tactics. I'm not familiar with the Roman siege tactics for burning libraries. Although, based on what I remember from playing Rome Total War, it probably involves setting pigs on fire. Knowledge I don't have yet. I mean, this is when I'm supposed to be here. I don't think I've missed anything. We could try intimidating him. Maybe he'll let us through if we just talk tough. Although I doubt it. Only other thing I can think of is if I kill Foul Murmur over here and then talk to the Sage, maybe he can get us in. Alright, you don't want to see your blood decorating this camp. I suggest you lead me to the ruin. You're quite the aggressor, aren't you? That might intimidate one of these weak-kneed shits, but I've been in the game far too long to be impressed. Let me give you another option. You can lay down your arms and surrender. I don't have time for this nonsense. There's a time and place for bloodlust, and sadly I've got an operation to oversee. We're under attack. Kill the Fate Boy. Okay, we're fighting. Okay. Alright, I guess we fight.
Another demonstration of power seems in order.
Let's see how we do for armor penetration. Wakefield does 9 damage. Armor 3, pen 5. Okay, so what if we switch to bronze? Get a little more DPS. 5 slashing. Armor 3, pen 1. Okay, that's significantly worse. I think it's better to overpen than to underpen. Alright. Let's have Ebb do that, oh no, the floaty levitation trick is only once per day. Yeah, once per rest, so maybe not. Once per encounter, though.
Shall we?
Yeah, I wish there's another way, but I can't seem to find it. Damn it. Please don't die. Ab, get out of the way. Alright. Beast versus beast over here.
Will do. Right.
Alright, fire is stronger here. Praise Zorg.
Right.
There we go. And you can have a little fire
Sorry,
too.
I can't.
Oh, missed.
On it.
Okay, let's go with the flank.
Can't do that.
Don't know if flanking is a thing, but we're about to find out. Ooh, oh no, kills in shadow. Ow. Damn it.
Will do.
Fire touch. This is very effective. I should just use this more. Okay, there we go. Oh, you may be right. Yeah, maybe the other way in is if we don't piss off the chorus. You may be right about that. Let's get rid of some of this crap. Unfortunate, but oh well. Is what it is. I just got a mace. That's cool. Two-handed mace. Just one hands that shit. I think the claws are better, though. Yeah, claws look better. Although... that's better still. Fuck it. Can you glance through that? How do they compare? Oh, that's worse. Okay. Can't give her that. Alright, well, everybody's angry now, so let's take him in and heal up. And, fuck it, let's just go in. Let's just go in. All right. Check it out. We're in the Burning Library. Place is aptly named. Oh, look. It's a whole bunch of spell sigils. This is what happens when masters of warding magic compare notes for centuries. Regular doors and boring locks fall out of fashion. I was hoping the Edict of Fire had done us a favor and burnt away all these barriers, but we're not so lucky. There's a sequence to lower the barriers, but as custom and paranoia dictate, the sages use different sequences every day. And I'm guessing whoever set this one up is long gone, likely dead. We'll need to look for something that might help. I wonder what other security measures are still here that you don't know how to solve. I volunteered to turn back and keep an eye on this fire. So this, again, still has awesome music. Like, listen to that. Listen to that. It's so, like... Eerie. Kairos Edict has transformed this floor into a molten lake of fire. I almost didn't recognize it. This is where we made parchment. There used to be dozens of hides stretched out on enormous drying racks, filthy piles of goat hair, vats of rendering fat. Quite a busy workshop we had going. Excuse me. And it also happened to smell like diseased pigs defecating on burning goats. That I don't miss. Roman siege tactics means the policy of not allowing mercy or surrender to the occupants of a fortification once the battering ram begins. Yeah, that sounds like Kairos' way. Oh, hello. It's a sage. The sage makes a low squeal and falls over, feigning death. Wow, I'm convinced. Both of these bodies are totally dead. I wasn't sure that would work. Well, I was absolutely sure it wouldn't, but how was I supposed to know you weren't another of those gangs? They're everywhere. I've been hiding in this area ever since the edict tore the place apart. You can never be too careful. You're a Fatebinder. I can't believe there's a Fatebinder in the Vellum Citadel. You're the one that declared the edict. You know, it's because you warned us about what was to come that we were able to cast a spell to preserve the Citadel before the edict could destroy it. I don't know if anyone got to thank you for that. Kind of backfired on us, though. It didn't stop the edict, it just froze everything in place as it was being destroyed. Preservation is preservation, I suppose. Not that it's doing us any good with all the Scarlet Chorus in here. Did you see how many of those thugs ran in? When I saw them enter, I knew I couldn't stay in hiding any longer. I had to come and prevent anyone else from getting in, so I activated the barrier by the door. 5 says that he had a phrase, Muram Arias agitated. There's a ram has touched the wall, yes. That's good. That doesn't explain why you're dying. I came to destroy a piece of the passcode so no one could get through. But this one must have followed me. He attacked me and told me he'd kill me if I didn't tell him to get through. You can see how well that went for him. Please, Fatebinder, you have to protect the Citadel from the Scarlet Chorus. Don't let them destroy it. The piece of passcode will get you through the first barrier. Find the rest and keep them from these monsters. They can't be allowed to unlock our secrets. Alright, should we thank him? Should we fix him up? Or should we kill him? One for fixing him up. 2 for fixing him up. He might come in handy again. Yeah, you're right. He might. He might. Let's bind those wounds. Alright. Don't worry about a single sage when there's so much more to save. And he dies. Alright. He died anyway. Okay, so it's a moot point. Ooh, what's this?
Smells strange. Like air before first lightning strike. Want to take. Want to claim his own.
Take a book. How fortuitous. That truly is a part of the passcode needed to bypass the barrier protecting the silent archive. Haven't been this excited since I first learned my sigils. Truth is, in all my decades at the Vellum Citadel, I never once set foot anywhere near the archive. Blank scrolls. The amount of heat rushing through the fissure is intense. The lower floor somehow remains intact.
That section up ahead doesn't look as damaged as the rest of the place.
See,
Hey.
every once in a great while, things are easier than I expect. Though I doubt any other barriers are going to be this easy to bypass. Keep that phrase. This is a good sign. If they had not secured the silent archive, they wouldn't have bothered to leave passcodes for any returning sages.
Oh, like a bit of rock just sticking out of the... Oh, hey, look, lava. Where does that go? Upper ruins. Oh, trap.
Found something.
Bookshelf south. Yeah, I see it. Oh, duh. I didn't see it. Now I see it. Oh, hello. Hey, you. Come here. I want to talk to you. Okay. You can't get in line. I swear I'll leave you to burn this forge. Do you want that? Just listen to me. We can all get out of here with our eyebrows intact. They're glowing parchment fragments. How hard could they be to find? Fatefinder, what are you doing here? I thought you fools blocked the passageway. No, my business is my own. I meant no offense, Fatebinder. I was just surprised to see you here. Thought maybe the censor sent more people to find the silent archive. Do you need anything else? What are you doing in here? I assumed you knew. Why else would the censor let you in? The fire yes, very good. The fire rises. We're supposed to find the archive, which is why we're bent. Okay. Rather, we were bent on finding it. This lot of squeamish babes who don't want to singe their hair on their toes haven't found a single piece of the passcode. What's special about the archive? It's the heart of the Vellum Citadel. The voices in Nerat wants it destroyed, so the Kairos' wrath is complete. Supposedly the archive is the sole reason the library is still standing. Okay, so, oh, wow, okay, so we got some choices here. Athletics, intimidate. Your people are pathetic, your leader gave you an order and follow it. To Ulston, you're being held back by these louts, wouldn't you rather press forward alone? To the group, Ulston seems like a pushover. If you kill him, you go your own way. Address the sages. I helped you once and warned you about the edict. Help me destroy these fools and you may yet still live. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Let's do that. Damn it, Fatebinder, what are you doing? Praising Zorg, that's what I'm doing.
Heads up, we have company.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this a bit too.
I wish I had the cone attack. Although I know Ev does. Ev's got a cone attack. There it is. I missed though. Oops.
I will break you!
Wait! I did
Boom.
that? Nice!
Got him. Loot the bodies. Can't talk to the sages. Get some stuff. Yeah, okay. I'll actually put you back there. Give you some poison. And a healing potion, because those are useful. Another sage? No, of course. Someone here, then tell them to get their asses in here. Get your asses in there. Gaptooth wants to talk to you. They must not have got the memo. Fine by me. Trap. Let's hop the wall. Yeah, hop the wall here. Play his Bane challenge. I don't even know what that means. You're not chorus members, but they're nearby. I can hear them. I'd leave, but they block the eggs and I can't open the barrier with the right key. Okay, this is none of my concern. Ooh, arcane knowledge. I like knowledge. Sigil of Strength 2. I think that one? Yeah, it's Strength 2. Cool. Gaptooth. So the censor didn't trust 4 groups to get what she wanted and sent another one? Talk about excessive use of force. For Kyra's sake, it's just a library. It's not going to get up and walk away. Nothing you just said makes any sense. Another group led by one of the tier's most brilliant minds. How in the everlasting burn do I always get saddled with geniuses? Like attracts like, as they say. Yes, yes, we are all quick with a sharp wit, and everyone deserves to win. Better? Everyone here wants to kill, I want to win. The two aren't at odds with each other, but requires more than brains and a little less battle cry. My current problem is Nubby's group down below. They're guarding one of the passcode pieces and they can be particularly stab happy. I don't want to cross their path with a molten pit nearby, so I'm trying to decide what to do. Well, we're just gonna pass through. As if. We plan on being victors here. You may not be our biggest concern, but we'll have to cross blades at some point. I don't have a reason why that can't be sooner rather than later. You could always try to get the drop on Numbly. Does he even know you're here? True. I'm sure they don't know we're right behind them. Not a bad idea at all. Sneak up on them and out of the contest. Nice.
Can't do that.
I guess we could have just snuck around. It's fine. Oh, this is a different area anyway. Oh, or is it? Upper Ruins. Ooh. The contents of this missive are obscured by the page's burnt edges, but you can tell that Graven Ash was the intended recipient. The sender makes a plea for assistance, but she doesn't believe her garrison in the Blade Grave has sufficient troops to hold their location. This goes up as well, I guess? Yeah, I guess it does. Alright, well, let's go in after them, I guess. Unless there's another way. I don't think there is. There you go, there's the Ox Link. Good job. Yeah, as far as I know, the Ox is always recruiting. Hey, look, they won. Or did they? Maybe they didn't. Yeah, we won. It was hard going, but we did it. Should we finish them off? Should we let them go? Or should we attack? Yeah, alright. I'm just surprised at you. Until we meet again. Go in good health. Until we meet again. See, this is better. Just play them off against each other. Minimize our own losses. I like this better. This is better than just killing everyone. Smarter. I think Blood and Mark would approve.
Found something.
God damn it.
I can't take much more of
Jesus
this.
Christ, Lantry. You had one job. Hello. What is that? Oh, Lantry's not a bard, he's a wizard. In as much as there are, you know, classes and professions. Book. Ooh. Research for a sigil. Hop the gap. Oh, there's a lot of them there. Oh my. Yeah, so those are the Bane. That's what they look like. What are they doing here, though? You don't normally find Bane outside of the old walls. That's what they said. Really makes you think. Yeah, they are cursed. You want to know something else? Bane are weak to magic. Especially Gravelight. Bane are extra weak to Gravelight. These ones are somewhat resistant to fire. So let's give them a little zappy zappy. Okay, red ones resist fire. Blue ones resist light. Simple enough. Simple as. Ow, jeez.
Right.
Fucking die already. Yeah, Grognard's got the right of it. Kairos is on the side of the person, of the one with better artillery. Or no, I mangled
Sorry,
that.
I can't.
I fucking mangled that quote.
I
It's
got it.
fine. The floor is lava, guys. Oh, that should have been the title of the stream. The floor is lava. Next one. If we're still here next time. Oh, bunch of dead bodies down here.
Stupid edict.
Found
Ruining
something.
the whole place. I used to know my way around. Feel so old.
Poor Lantry. Oh, there's more of them.
Another battle.
Right.
I think we're bad at making friends.
Oh no. Okay, position F there. Hit him with the grave light. No, no fair moving, guys. Jesus.
Wait my signal.
Chug a potion, please.
I got it.
It's a tough job being so
Jesus.
remarkable all the time.
Immune to mage fire, right? Of course.
Fear nothing.
On it.
There, dead. Ebb levels up. Let's give her some more spell strength. Alright, see you, Grimos. Let's try this call. That sounds fun. Call of Reckoning. Ooh, frightened nearby Bane. That might be useful. Yeah, chat, you better behave.
On it.
Another piece of the code. Where does this go? Okay, so the burning library is going to be a bit, I think. So, I think I'm going to save, and we'll come back at this next week. So yeah, we next week we shall return to the blessed library of Zorg and take in those flames. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed yourselves, and I'll see you next week. How do I turn this damn thing?